So this chapter, our environment, it will be our last chapter. Okay. So in this, we are going to learn about ecosystem, then trophic level. Inside ecosystem, we'll learn about types and its components. Next, in trophic levels, then we'll learn about food chain, food web, energy flow, then biological magnification. Okay, then impact of human on natural environment, then managing of the garbage, waste types, and their effect on our environment. That's all. And this chapter is very short. We'll complete this in within this class. Okay. So environment, it includes all those things and sets of conditions which influence the life of an organism, like their growth, survival, development, and reproduction. So our environment, it will be consisting of physical surrounding, living beings, and climatic condition of that particular region we are living. Okay, any change in this thing will affect the organism. So now in this chapter we are going to look how different organisms interact with each other and with their surrounding. Next, ecosystem. It is structural and functional unit of biosphere. Okay, and inside biosphere, what do we have? We have lithosphere, the land, and hydrosphere, atmosphere. The interaction between all those things are biosphere. Okay, and ecosystem, it was coined by A.G. Tansley. So what is ecosystem? All the interacting organism in an area together with non-living constituent, which is also called abiotic component of the environment, forms ecosystem. Okay, ecosystem example: lake, field, forest. Those are ecosystem. And there are two types of ecosystem. First one, natural ecosystem. The other one is artificial ecosystem. Natural ecosystem is naturally existing ecosystem, and artificial ecosystem which are made by the human. Okay, natural ecosystem, we have desert, grassland, forest, ponds, lake, estuaries, marine. Okay, that is ocean. What is estuaries? Where the fresh water, right, that is river, and the salt water, ocean water, okay, they meet. That area, it's called estuaries. Okay, now artificial example, what are they? Those are agricultural land. Okay, they are man-made creation. Okay, the farms and all that. Then aquarium, that is also artificial ecosystem. Botanical garden, parks. Components of ecosystem, we have biotic component, that is living component, and abiotic component. Now first we'll look into the biotic components. Okay, so inside biotic components we have producer, consumer, and decomposers. So producer, what are those? The organism which produce their own food through the process of photosynthesis, right? They are called producer. And they are also called autotrophs. What do? They absorb the energy of sun and produce organic compound. Okay, and they convert what? Solar energy into chemical energy. Example, we have plants, blue green algae. This is the source of nutrition for rest of the ecosystem. Okay, also they take carbon dioxide. Consumer, in this, what are those? The consumer are those organisms which depend on producers, right? And they consume food which is prepared by the producers. And they are also called heterotrophs. And they are again divided into three categories. Okay, herbivores, carnivores, and omnivore. Herbivores, they're first order consumer. Okay, what do? They directly feed from the producer, that is plant. Example, we have zebra, goat, horse, sheep. Okay, carnivores, they, what do? They feed on other animals like herbivores. Okay, Example, we have hawks, lion, wolves, and next we have omnivores. Okay, here what do they do? These organisms, they feed both on plants and animals. We have example includes human, bear, cats. Okay, then next we have decomposers. These organisms, they feed on decaying and dead organism. Okay, dead organic matter or dead organisms. They will break down the remains of dead animal and plants, and because of that they will release various substance, okay, which is used by other members like plants. What is their help? They help to recycle materials, okay, and they will clean the waste, and they help in the creation of space for new species, okay, new organism, growth of new organism. Example, we have worms, mushroom, insect, bacteria. Now, abiotic components. Inside that we have light, energy, temperature, atmospheric gases, wind, water. This light energy, it is primary source, right? It is the main source, and it is used by green plants. Temperature, what is that? This is distributed. The distribution of animals and plants is greatly, right, influenced by temperatures, okay, and the pattern of rain also affects the growth of plants. Here temperature is used because in extreme temperature, right, in rainfall, what happens? The plants which need water, they will grow more, okay, and plants, if heavy rainfall, then plants which require less water will not grow, okay, it will damage the crops. And this, depending on plant growth, right, the it will determine the overall variety of animals living in that place. Now, atmospheric gases, the gases present in the atmosphere, we have oxygen required for respiration, and carbon dioxide is required for photosynthesis, and nitrogen, right, it is made by available to plants by decomposers, okay, bacterias, and also by action of lightning. Wind, it will help in the pollination and seed dispersal of the flowering plants, right? We have seed in the reproduction chapter. Then water, it is essential for life, for drinking purpose and for all the varieties of purpose. Next, we have trophic levels. See, the transfer of energy or food, it takes place through various steps or level in the food chain. It is known as trophic levels, okay. The first is producer or present in the first trophic level. This is first. And this primary consumer, right, the herbivores, it is second trophic level. And next, secondary consumer, third trophic level. And fourth, the apex, right, the main top one, that is tertiary consumer, fourth trophic level. Here you will see in the food chain, in this food chain, you will see the carrot, it is first trophic level. Rabbit, it is the second trophic level. Fox, it will be the third trophic level. And this lion, it will be the fourth trophic level, okay. This is food chain. Food chain, it is a linear network of living organism in community which through which energy is transferred in form of food. Okay, the relation is what? Who eats whom? Terrestrial food chain, right? Present on the land. Example, we have grass, right? It gets eaten by the insect, and insect gets eaten by the snake, and snake gets eaten by the hawk. Then aquatic food chain, we have phytoplankton, okay? It is producer, and it is eaten by zooplankton, and in turn, which is eaten by fish, and fish is eaten by shark. What is the significance of food chain? It involves transfer of energy, material, and nutrition. This food chain will serve as transfer of energy from one level to another. So knowledge of this food chain, what will happen because of that? It will help in the understanding the feeding relationship as well as the interaction between organism in an ecosystem. And all this also the movement of toxic substance, right? We can understand this. It is biomagnification. We'll learn right here. Okay. First, before that, we'll learn the food chain, food web. Okay, sorry, food web. So it is interaction of different food chain, right? Their interaction, it is called food web. Okay, this one here, grass. Now here you see first food chain we have here is grass, right? It gets eaten by rabbit, and the rabbit is eaten by fox. Okay, this is our first food chain. Okay, next food chain, grass. Okay, it is eaten by mouse. Now this mouse, it is eaten by fox. Okay, so this will be our second food chain. Now third food chain we have grass and this mouse, and then this is eaten by hawk. This will be our third food chain. Fourth food chain, grass, mouse, owl. Fourth, different color. Okay. Now fifth we have grass. Okay, which is eaten by grasshopper. Then grasshopper is eaten by frog, and frog is eaten by owl. This will be our fifth food chain. How many food chain are here? Next we have grasshopper, grasshopper, then frog, and it is eaten by snake, right? And snake again, it is eaten by hawk. This will be our sixth, right? Then one more is there. Grass, grasshopper, bird, then snake, then hawk. This is our seventh food chain. So here we have seven food chain. So different food chain are interconnected to each other. So this is called what? Food web. Here in this, right, one organism is eaten by more than one or one more than one different kinds of organism. Okay, so here instead of the straight line which we saw in the food chain, right, straight line, here it is not a straight line. We have branching like the web. That's why it is called food web. Now energy flow. Energy is accumulated by primary producer and it is transferred through food chain to different trophic level. This phenomenon is called energy flow. It is unidirectional flow, okay? And there is no recycling or going back to previous level. Energy is transferred from one form to another, and because of some energy, it's always lost. The flow of energy in an organism, it can be understood by following way. Okay, the green plants in the terrestrial capture 1% of the energy from sunlight, and they what do they convert it into food, carbohydrates, glucose. Okay, the green plants are eaten by primary consumer. Due to this, a major amount of energy is lost as heat. Some amount goes into digestion in doing work, and rest goes towards growth and reproduction. Okay, then average of about 10% of energy is eaten by an organism and is turned back into its own body, made available for next level of consumer. And this is called what? 10% law. So how does this happen? You can see in this diagram. Here we have given example. Suppose the energy coming from the sun is 1000 joule. Only 1% of this will be observed by the plants. Okay, so how 1000 1% of 1000, it will be 10 joule. Okay, so we have 10 joule here. Next, this from here only what food chain starts, right? From here only 10% law will apply. So 10% of the 10 joule, we have seen here 10 joule energy, right? It will go to this organism, and so here in this organism we will get only 1 joule energy. Next again, this again 10% of 1 joule energy, again it will go to here, this line. So 0.1 joule energy will be available. Okay, so 10% of energy is going from one trophic level to the next trophic level. And this is called 10% law. And from this, right, it is clear what? This flow of energy is unidirectional. It can't go like this backwards or like this or like this, only the straight line. Now, biomagnification. It is the phenomenon of progressive increase of concentration of non-biodegradable toxins. Okay, the chemical pollutants which pollutes the environment, right? Their concentration. This is non-biodegradable. That means they cannot be degraded by microorganism. Okay, or worms. So that's why they are called non-biodegradable. So what happens here? Here the level, right, from one trophic to next, it keeps on increasing. This is called biomagnification. Here, for example, this is the toxic. This mayfly will eat it. Okay, so the mayfly will have only this much toxic. Okay, next this get eaten by the bluegill fish, and it here the toxics level will increase because it is going to eat this so many mayflies. Okay, and after that this bass, another type of bigger fish, will eat the smaller fish, and here the concentration of toxic again it will increase. Okay, because this bass will eat more small fishes. Okay, which will be containing this toxic. Then the human, it will eat the bigger fish, they will eat the bigger fish. Okay, and so there, here the level of concentration, right, will increase more toxic, right? It will be most in the highest trophic level. Okay, most, more, highest, and this is called biomagnification. And what does it causes? The harmful chemical pesticides like DDT, right? It is sprinkled on the crop plants. Why? Pests and diseases. Okay, and if rain comes or we give water, it will wash off and it will go into the water bodies, right? And in water bodies we have fishes, mayflies, all that aquatic organism. There the toxic will get on multiplying or accumulated. And also in the soil, right, it absorbed by plants, and from soil, from plant and from the aquatic organism, it is right, we get it because we consume food. The maximum concentration of these chemicals gets accumulated in human body because they occupy the topmost place in the food chain. Now, impact on human impact on natural environment. What are the impact we have seen? Various human activities, they pose serious environment threats. Okay, depletion of ozone layer, waste accumulation, etc. So first we see ozone layer, depletion of ozone layer. What is ozone layer? In our atmosphere, there is, right, there are many different layers. Okay, troposphere, between troposphere and stratosphere there is ozone layer. Okay, we have at least 10 to 20 to 30 kilometer above earth. This ozone layer, it is deadly poison. What does this do? Right, this ozone, it will absorb UV radiation which is coming from the sun. Importance, what is important? It shields the surface of earth from harmful ultraviolet rays. Okay, what does this radiation cause? Skin cancer, and it damages eyes, and it will also decrease crop yield, disturb global rainfall. Depletion of ozone layer. This layer, due to environment pollution, this layer is getting depleted, right? Thinning. It is getting thinning, okay? It gets thinned. Why? There are many causes. One is chlorofluorocarbon, CFCs. It is used in refrigerator, okay? And also in fire extinguisher. CFC, it's very stable, and it also persists in the environment for long period of time, and they rise up in the atmosphere. This UV radiation will break down CFC molecules and release the chlorine atom, okay? This chlorine atom will react with ozone. So the ozone, right, it will dissociate and it will form oxygen. It won't be ozone. So this will result in the decreasing amount of ozone. This is observed in Antarctica. We tell it as hole in the ozone, okay? Next, we have managing the garbage we produce. So the household waste is called garbage. Waste substance, again, it can be divided into two things: biodegradable and non biodegradable. Biodegradable substance, these are substance, these are garbages, right? Which are biodegradable. They are degradable by bacteria, fungi, microorganisms, all that. Decomposition of biodegradable waste leads to foul smell, okay? And these biodegradable, right, it will act as pollutant only when their quantity becomes large. If they are present in large number, then only they will act as pollutants which damage the environment. Otherwise they won't be considered as pollutants, okay? Now we have non biodegradable waste. This substance, right, it cannot be converted into harmless simpler forms. In biodegradable substance, it can be converted, it can be degraded into simpler forms. And this, right, this will be toxic, harmful, and it will get accumulated in the environment. They act as major pollutants. Example, we have radioactive waste from nuclear plant, plastics, insecticides, heavy metal such as lead, arsenic, aluminum. This mercury lead, right, it gets accumulated in environment. It will cause many threatening diseases in human and other living organisms. Methods of waste disposal, okay? Garbage waste management practices include method of disposing garbage with least effect on environment. Disposal of waste means to get rid of waste. So various methods we have: recycling. It is a process of processing the waste material to form new products. Material like tin, cans, metallic articles, racks, paper, glass, polythene are recyclable. Okay. Then composting, biodegradable domestic waste, leftover food, fruits, vegetables, they can be buried in a pit, and and after that it can get decomposed and it will be converted into compost and it can be used as manure. Then incineration, it is the burning of substances high temperature to form ash. This will reduce volume of waste. This method is used for the hospital waste. Then landfill, solid waste is dumped into low-lying area and covered with soil. And it is covered with soil. After that, it will get decomposed. Okay. Sewage treatment. So it is sewage treatment is it is the sewage, right? It is carried over sewage treatment plants. Here, the sewage is filtered, then organic material in the sewage is allowed to settle down and decompose in large tanks. And also, the water from these tanks is cleaned and released into water bodies. Then, biogas production in some places, sewage is decomposed anaerobically to yield biogas and manure. Anaerobically means without oxygen. Okay, the here the anaerobic microorganisms are used. Next, we will talk about the use of disposable paper cups in train. Here, some years back, right, tea was served in reusable glasses in train. But because of hygiene, reusable glasses were replaced by disposable plastic cup, and they were non-biodegradable, so they cannot be disposed of completely, and they will cause what? Environment pollution. So the railways, what do? They used kulkars, okay, this mud cups, okay. And what happened because of this? If it is produced in large scale, it will result in loss of top fertile soil, okay. So because of that, what did they started using disposable paper cups, and these paper cups, right, they are biodegradable and they can be disposed of completely without any harm to environment. Okay, this chapter is over. Any doubt? This chapter, it's not coming, right? Management of natural resources.